Good morning, third graders. I hope you guys are off to a great start this morning. I was grading your papers yesterday and I was looking through them, and I feel like some of you are struggling a little bit with comparisons and then with some adverbs. And so I thought I would go over a few things quickly with you this morning. Now remember, when we're comparing two things, we put ER at the end of a word. And some keywords to help us to remember that is more, or the word than. So in your sentences, when you're comparing two things, the word than will usually be in there, such as the girl was hotter than her mom. So we would use ER there for hotter, and then the word than makes us know that we are comparing two things. Now, EST is when we're comparing three plus or three or more things. And we would use the word most, and in some of your sentence you would see the words of all or in the class or of the class. You could say Sally is the fastest of the class. All right, and so we would use fastest with EST at the end of it because you're comparing Sally to the whole class. So remember, when you're comparing two things, use ER. You'll see the words more or than in your sentences. And when you're comparing three things or more, you're going to use EST with most, and then of all or of the class or in the class. Just we're comparing one thing to a number of people. And then also remember, we never use more and the suffix ER together. You would never use more bigger. Instead, you would say just bigger. And remember, when they're shorter nouns, we would just add the suffix ER to the end of them. But when we have larger nouns, instead of saying adding the suffix, we would just add either most or more, such as we would not say most beautifulest, even though some of you girls are the most beautifulest girls ever. That's not correct. You would not say that. Instead, you would just say most beautiful. And I'm sure you guys are catching on to that. You did actually pretty well in that section, but some of you were really struggling with adverbs, and I'm so sad that I don't get to teach you this, because this is one of my favorite parts of speech, just because it's really easy to pick it out if you know a few things. Now, one good thing is that adverbs usually end in ly. Like 98% of the time, they will end in ly. And then another way to find your adverbs is to find your verb and then ask how often, or when after your verb, because that's what adverbs do. And so let's look at this sentence here. Now, I know Evan and Addie, Evan's birthday was last week, and happy birthday, Evan, and Addie's birthday is going to be Thursday, I think. And so I used them today in our video. So it says, today, Evan and Addie will celebrate their birthdays. And so, first of all, with any sentence, this is, you know what we do first. We find the subject and the verb. So let's see, what is the action in our sentence? If you are thinking, will celebrate, you are correct. Who or what will celebrate? Evan will celebrate, or already has, and Addie will celebrate. Now, we are going to separate our subjects from our verb. Now, do you see any ly words? There's no ly words. So now we have to go to our second thing. Let's say our verb and ask when, how, or how often, and see what answers that question, okay? So we'll celebrate when. Do you see a word in that sentence that tells when? Yes, today. So today is our adverb because it tells when after the verb. Now look at the next sentence here. John shot that basketball perfectly. All right, let's find our verb. The action verb is shot. Who or what shot? John shot. And let's divide that. Now, let's see. Do you see any ly words? Yes, the word perfectly is an ly word. And so we know that will be our adverb, because John shot how, it answers the question how, and it ends in ly. John shot how, John shot perfectly. And so make sure you're looking for those ly words. You're asking where, not where, but asking when, how often after your verb to find those adverbs. And I hope to talk to you soon.